Everything you believe about comfort is backwards. You think safety makes you stronger. You think eliminating stress protects your well-being. You think building a life where nothing hurts is the definition of success. Your body is screaming the opposite message every single day, and you cannot hear it because comfort has made you deaf to your own biology. There is a circuit in your brain actively sabotaging your potential right now. Evolution put it there 200,000 years ago when your ancestors lived in conditions that would kill you in 72 hours. That circuit was designed to keep you alive in a world where every single day was a negotiation with death. But here is the problem. That same circuit interprets modern comfort as a signal that you no longer need to be strong. It interprets safety as permission to atrophy. And right now, as you listen to this, that circuit is shutting down systems you desperately need because your life has become too easy. Robert Sapolsky spent 40 years studying stress in primates at Stanford, and he discovered something that will change how you see everything. The problem is not stress. The problem is the absence of the right kind of stress. When a baboon lives in constant safety, when food appears without effort, when threats disappear, something horrifying happens. The baboon becomes weak, not just physically, neurologically, hormonally, behaviorally. The animal that evolution spent millions of years perfecting becomes a shadow of what it was designed to be. And you are that baboon. Let me be very clear about what is happening inside your body right now. Your muscles contain something called satellite cells. These are dormant repair units that activate when tissue gets damaged, when you lift something heavy, when you sprint until your lungs burn, when you expose yourself to cold until your skin screams. Those cells wake up and rebuild you stronger. But when nothing in your life hurts, when every surface is soft and every temperature is 72 degrees and every meal arrives with a phone tap, those cells go dormant, permanently dormant if you wait long enough. You are not preserving your strength by avoiding discomfort. You are suffocating it. Your bone density is determined by impact. Your cardiovascular system is determined by exertion. Your stress response system, the mechanism that keeps you alive when things go wrong, is determined by exposure to acute stress. Take away the impact, the exertion, the stress, and these systems do not stay neutral. They decay. This is called adaptive atrophy, and it is happening to you right now. Your body is a biological machine that was built to respond to challenge. When you remove challenge, you do not get stability, you get deterioration. Here's what the research actually shows, and this is not motivational speaking. This is molecular biology. When you expose your body to intermittent stress, something called hormesis occurs. Your cells produce heat shock proteins. Your mitochondria multiply. Your DNA repair mechanisms activate. Your immune system strengthens. But this only happens when the stress is acute and followed by recovery. Chronic stress, the kind you get from sitting in traffic and checking notifications and worrying about things you cannot control, destroys you. Acute stress, the kind you get from a cold shower or a hard workout or a difficult conversation, rebuilds you. Modern life has inverted this completely. You live in chronic low-level stress, and you have eliminated all acute high-intensity stress. You have created the exact conditions for biological collapse. And here is the part that makes this truly brutal. The weaker you become, the more you crave comfort. This is not a moral failure. This is your limbic system, the ancient part of your brain that regulates emotion and motivation, interpreting weakness as danger. When your body is strong, when your systems are resilient, uncertainty feels like opportunity. When your body is weak, when your systems are compromised, uncertainty feels like death. So you build walls, you eliminate variables, you create routines that require nothing from you, and every single layer of protection you add makes you weaker, which makes you crave more protection, which makes you weaker still. You're trapped in a biological feedback loop, and every day you stay comfortable, the loop tightens. Sapolsky studied this exact pattern in wild baboons, and the results were devastating. The baboons that lived in the most stable environments, where food was abundant and predators were rare, developed the highest rates of anxiety and depression. They became hyper-reactive to minor stressors. They lost their ability to regulate emotion. They developed what we would call learned helplessness. The comfortable baboons became the most miserable baboons, not because they lacked resources, but because they lacked challenge. Their biology had nothing to push against, so it turned inward and started destroying itself. Now let me connect this to something you can feel right now. Think about the last time you did something genuinely difficult. Not annoying, not frustrating, difficult. Something that required you to push past the signal in your body telling you to stop. How long has it been? For most people listening to this, the answer is measured in years, not days. You have engineered difficulty out of your life so completely that your nervous system no longer knows how to process challenge. When something hard appears, your body interprets it as a malfunction. Your heart rate spikes, your cortisol floods, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, shuts down and hands control to your amygdala, the panic button. You are not weak because you were born that way. You are weak because you trained yourself to be weak by eliminating everything that could have made you strong. Let me pause here for a second and ask you a question that maybe no one has ever asked you. What is the worst part of living with this internal struggle? Not what you tell people, but the part you carry in silence. I want you to know something. What you are feeling is more common than you imagine. Thousands of people are watching this video right now carrying exactly the same weight. If you have the courage, leave a comment telling me what is the hardest part for you. Your honesty might make someone else feel less alone today. Now let me continue showing you how to break this pattern. The solution to this is not what you think. You cannot fix biological atrophy with motivation. You cannot think your way out of physiological decay. What you need is a protocol, a systematic reintroduction of stress in controlled doses that force your body to remember what it was designed to do. This is not about becoming a Navy SEAL. This is about restoring basic human function that evolution gave you for free and modern life has stolen. Here is the framework, and pay attention because every word matters. You are going to implement something called acute stress exposure. This means deliberately placing your body in conditions that trigger an adaptive response without causing damage. The goal is not suffering. The goal is signal. You are sending your biology a message that challenge still exists, and it needs to prepare. Protocol 1. Cold exposure. Every morning for the next 30 days, you're going to end your shower with 60 seconds of cold water. Not cool, cold as your system allows. Here is what happens. The moment that water hits your skin, your sympathetic nervous system activates. Your heart rate increases. Your breathing accelerates. Your body dumps norepinephrine into your bloodstream. This is the same neurochemical that gets released when you accomplish something difficult. You are chemically rewarding your brain for doing hard things. But here is the critical part. After the cold exposure, your parasympathetic system, the rest and recovery system, kicks in harder than it would have otherwise. You are training your nervous system to oscillate between stress and recovery. This is resilience, not the absence of stress, but the ability to move through it and return to baseline. Protocol 2. Resistance training. 3 times per week. You are going to lift something heavy enough that the last repetition feels genuinely difficult. Not dangerous. Difficult. You are going to do compound movements, squats, deadlifts, presses, movements that require your entire body to coordinate under load. Here is why this matters beyond the obvious. When you lift heavy weight, your body releases something called myokines. These are signaling molecules that cross the blood-brain barrier and tell your brain that you are capable. They reduce inflammation. They improve insulin sensitivity. They activate neurogenesis in your hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and emotional regulation. You are not just building muscle. You are rebuilding the communication network between your body and your brain. Protocol 3. Fasting. Once per week, you are going to go 24 hours without food, water, and black coffee only. This is not about weight loss. This is about metabolic flexibility. When you eat constantly, your body runs on glucose. It becomes dependent on external fuel. When you fast, your body switches to ketones. It learns to generate energy from stored fat. But more importantly, fasting triggers something called autophagy. This is your body's recycling program. It breaks down damaged proteins and dysfunctional cells and uses the raw materials to build new ones. You are forcing your biology to do maintenance it has been postponing because you keep interrupting it with food. Protocol 4, Solitude, 1 hour per week. No devices, no distractions, no inputs, just you and your thoughts. This is the protocol most people will refuse to do because it is the most uncomfortable. Your brain has become addicted to stimulation. The moment you remove external input, your mind starts generating anxiety to get you to reach for your phone. You have to sit through that anxiety. You have to let your default mode network, the system that activates when you are not focused on a task, come back online. This is where insight happens. This is where your brain processes unresolved emotional content. This is where you remember who you are underneath all the noise. Now here is the part where most people fail. They implement these protocols for 2 weeks, they feel better, and they stop. They think the goal was to feel better. The goal is not to feel better. The goal is to become antifragile. This is a term from Nassim Taleb. Antifragile means you do not just resist damage, you gain from it. You become stronger under stress, but you only reach antifragility through consistency. These protocols are not an intervention, they are maintenance. You do not do them until you feel good. You do them because you are a biological organism that requires stress to function. Let me give you the neuroscience of why this works. Your brain contains something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This is a protein that supports the survival of existing neurons and encourages the growth of new ones. BDNF is the fertilizer for your brain, and here is what increases it. Exercise, cold exposure, fasting, acute stress, everything comfortable life eliminates, your brain desperately needs. When your BDNF drops, you lose neuroplasticity. You lose the ability to learn, to adapt, to change. You become rigid, and rigidity in a changing environment is death. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who spent his life on campaign, wrote something in his private journals that applies directly to this. He said the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He was not being poetic. He was describing biological reality. The obstacle is not the thing preventing your growth. The obstacle is the mechanism of your growth. Your body needs resistance to develop. Your mind needs challenge to sharpen. Your character needs friction to solidify. Comfort is not the reward for strength. Comfort is the poison that kills it. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, practiced something he called voluntary discomfort. He would sleep on the floor. He would eat simple food. He would walk in the cold without a coat. Not because he was punishing himself, but because he was training himself. He knew that if his happiness depended on external conditions, he was a slave to those conditions. But if he could maintain stability regardless of circumstance, he was free. This is the same principle Sapolsky discovered in primates 2,000 years later. Resilience is not built in comfort. It is built in controlled exposure to discomfort. Here is what happens when you do this consistently for 90 days. Your resting heart rate drops. Your heart rate variability increases. Your cortisol patterns normalize. You wake up without an alarm. You sleep without interruption. Your mood stabilizes. You stop reacting to minor stressors. You develop what researchers call stress inoculation. Small challenges that used to derail you become irrelevant. Not because you are suppressing emotion, but because your nervous system has recalibrated what constitutes a threat. But the most important change is psychological. You develop agency. Agency is the felt sense that you can influence outcomes. Most people have lost this completely. They feel like passengers in their own life. Every decision feels heavy because they no longer trust themselves to handle consequences. When you implement these protocols, when you do hard things consistently, you rebuild that trust, not through affirmations or visualization, but through evidence. You prove to yourself over and over that you can do difficult things and survive. That proof accumulates. It becomes your new baseline. Let me tell you what is actually happening at the cellular level, because this is where it gets profound. Your mitochondria, the energy factories in your cells, have their own DNA separate from your nuclear DNA. When you stress your body appropriately, those mitochondria multiply. You literally create more energy-producing capacity. But when you eliminate stress, those mitochondria die off. You lose power. Everything becomes harder because you have less biological energy to work with. The fatigue you feel is not psychological, it is metabolic. You're running on fewer engines. And here is the brutal part. Once you lose those mitochondria, getting them back requires sustained effort. You cannot supplement your way out. You cannot meditate your way out. You have to put your body under load and keep it there long enough for your cells to adapt. This is why the first 2 weeks of any new protocol feel terrible. Your body is not sure if the stress is temporary or permanent. It is waiting to see if you are serious. Only when you prove consistency does it start building new capacity. Now I need to address something that is going to come up. You are going to hear voices telling you this is toxic, that stress is bad, that you should prioritize rest and recovery and gentleness with yourself. Let me be very clear. Those voices are either ignorant of biology or they are selling you something. Chronic stress is toxic. Acute stress followed by recovery is essential. Rest is critical, but only if you have done something worth recovering from. Gentleness with yourself is important, but not when it becomes an excuse to avoid challenge. The people telling you to eliminate stress from your life are the same people who are weak and miserable and wondering why nothing works. Sapolsky documented this in his field research. The baboons that had the longest, healthiest lives were not the ones that avoided stress. They were the ones that had control over their stress response. They could engage challenge when necessary and disengage when it was over. The baboons that suffered were the ones with chronic, uncontrollable stress and the ones with no stress at all. You need stress. You just need the right kind. Here is your action plan. Today, before you go to bed, you're going to set your alarm 30 minutes earlier than usual. Tomorrow morning, you are taking a cold shower. You're going to stand under that water for 60 seconds no matter what your body tells you. Then you are going to go to the gym or your living room and you are going to do 3 sets of squats with whatever weight makes the last rep hard. That is day 1. Day 2, same thing. Day 3, same thing. You are not building motivation, you are building pattern. Motivation is a chemical state that comes and goes. Pattern is a neural pathway that gets stronger with repetition. By week 2, your body will stop resisting. The cold shower will feel less shocking. The weight will feel less heavy. This is not because the stimulus has changed. This is because you have adapted. Your nervous system has updated its model of what you can handle. By week 4, you will notice changes you did not expect. You will handle conflict better. You will procrastinate less. You will sleep deeper. These are not separate improvements. They are all downstream of the same thing. You have increased your stress capacity. By week 12, you will be a different organism. Not metaphorically, literally. Your gene expression will have changed. Your brain structure will have changed. Your hormonal profile will have changed. The person you were 90 days ago could not handle what you handle now. Not because you convinced yourself you could, but because you built the biological infrastructure to support it. And here is what nobody tells you about this process. Once you experience what it feels like to be strong, comfort stops being appealing. You do not want the easy path anymore because you know what the easy path costs. You have felt the difference between the version of you that avoids challenge and the version that seeks it. The seeking version is awake. The avoiding version is asleep. And once you wake up, you cannot go back. This is not about becoming hard. This is not about suppressing emotion or turning yourself into a machine. This is about remembering that you are an animal, a very intelligent animal with abstract reasoning and language and art, but still an animal. And animals need to move and struggle and face uncertainty to stay healthy. You cannot escape your biology by building walls around it. You can only honor it by giving it what it needs. Sapolsky spent his career studying the relationship between stress and health, and his conclusion was simple. The best predictor of long-term well-being is not wealth or status, or even relationships. It is resilience. The ability to encounter challenge and metabolize it. The ability to move through difficulty and return to baseline. The ability to adapt. And resilience cannot be developed in safety. It can only be developed through exposure. So here is what I need you to understand. Every single day that you choose comfort over challenge, you are not protecting yourself. You are weakening yourself. Every time you avoid the cold shower, the hard workout, the difficult conversation, the moment of solitude, you are telling your body that it does not need to be strong anymore. And your body listens. It downgrades your systems. It reduces your capacity. It prepares you for a life that requires nothing. And then when life demands something from you, when crisis arrives, when loss happens, when uncertainty strikes, you collapse. Not because you are broken, but because you are untrained. Weak men are not born. They are created by comfort, by safety, by the absence of challenge, by the elimination of every edge and every risk, in every moment of genuine difficulty. Strength is not a personality trait. It is a biological state that must be maintained through consistent exposure to stress. You either use your adaptive systems or you lose them. There is no middle ground. If you made it this far, I already know something important about you. You do not just want to survive your own mind, you want to master it. This channel is not about magic promises. It is about real people sharing real tools that work in the real world. If this makes sense to you, subscribe to the channel. Not because I am asking, but because you deserve a place where you can learn to build the version of yourself you always knew was in there. Biology is destiny until you hack it. One final note. This content is for educational and fictional purposes. The principles discussed are based on research, but individual application requires personal responsibility. Consult appropriate professionals before making significant changes to your health protocols. Now go stand under cold water and remember what your body was built to do.